Okay guys, in this tutorial we're gonna learn how to create and play around with abstract classes and abstract methods. Why we do need those things at all? Well, if we wanna protect something in a primary class, then we're gonna create it as abstract. So that means that somewhere else we need to get into details what that method will do. So that's the theory. Okay, let's practically roll with some code. Public. This will be method, of course, void, let's say, and let's call it a printer because it is from primary class, right? So this will be just normal method that will print something. So console.writeLine, and I'm gonna print I am from primary class. Okay, and of course we can create down there object based on this class. So let me explain what I'm trying to do. So primary as a base, and then p1 as object, new prim, and we can use this method without any kind of problem. p1 dot, there is an listing primary printer, this is method, so parentheses, and this thing will work. Okay, there you go. But what about protection of this thing? How to protect it? Well, you can use abstract here, okay, or here, abstract. Now when we do this, and when we try to create p1 as object, we're gonna end up into problem. And problem will be, printer cannot declare a body because it is a marked abstract. So you cannot have body here, like detailed operations. You must just have it like this, okay, without any kind of curly brackets. Okay, so let's try to do this thing right now. F5, and again we have a problem. So printer is abstract, but it is contained in a non-abstract type prim. So to some degree we solved this issue. So we do have it as abstract, that's fine. There is no body, there is no operations, so this method must be also in abstract class. So just type here abstract, and let's press F5 again. Problem, that's totally fine. Cannot create an instance of the abstract type or interface prim. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. This is actually operational, but we need to use it through secondary classes. Okay, so this class secondary must inherit from primary. Okay, and in here we are going to get into details what this method will do. So we will have access to primary stuff only through secondary class, right? So how we are going to get into details? Well, this is a method obviously, so public, and now we need to type override, just like in the last tutorial. Override. So what is a return type? There is none, so void. And what is a name? Well, primary printer here, and primary printer. And now we're gonna get into details what this method will do, and it will just say console.writeLine, for example, now I can be used with secondary class. Okay, that means, guys, that down there we can create object, but not based on primary class, but based on secondary class. So sets, and save, and no errors down there. What is the naming rule violation? These words must begin with uppercase characters. Okay, let's fix that. I mean, it's not necessary, but let's fix it anyway. Okay, PPP. Okay, there you go. So we don't have any naming violations here. And F5, and there you go. Now I can be used. So the difference is, if you wanna set like 10 or 100 of these abstract methods here, you can do that and do that into abstract classes. So when you have many of these methods, let's say this is like some kind of listing, you know, and somewhere else you're going to get into details in specific classes what any of these methods will do. So what's the purpose of it? Well, it is like enclosure, it's like protection. So just list it somewhere in abstract class and get into details about any of these methods down there in dedicated classes. But when you're creating objects, you can do that only if you target that specific class where you have details developed about those methods that are, let's say, hidden in a primary class. So abstract here, get into the details here, and you get the point. You can use objects down there. Okay guys, that's it. Thank you for watching and see you next one. Ciao.